Donald Trump hasn't exactly held back in his bid to get to the White House, but some of his comments have certainly threatened to stop him getting to the UK. The British Parliament has held a debate on whether the presidential hopeful should actually be banned from entering the country altogether. The proposal came as a rebuke of the Republican frontrunner's controversial comments about Muslims.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on.
Now, the whole discussion was mostly intended to air the subject, with the lawmakers not even voting on the matter. It was prompted by an online public petition which attracted more than 500,000 signatures. And many lawmakers still debated at length over whether to close Britain's doors to Donald Trump.
Hate crime is being inflamed and stroked by the words that Donald Trump is using.
I've heard of a number of cases where people have been excluded for incitement and for hatred. I've never heard of one for stupidity.
A ridiculous xenophobe, but somebody that we don't need to promote any further.
We may not wish him here, we may not like him here, but we should not vote against his ability to speak or indeed criticise his right to travel.
I'd take him to the synagogue, I'd take him to the church, I'd take him to the mosque, I'd invite him for a curry. We are curry capital of Britain.
Now, we've welcomed to this country Saudi and Chinese leaders, not to mention Mr. Ceausescu, whose crimes are far, far worse than anything Mr. Trump can dream up.
Earlier, my colleague Neil Harvey discussed the debate with journalist Salma Jaheen and analyst Joel Cohen.
In the world, there are people or ideas who we think are worth challenging. I think we should get on with the business of doing that rather than a kind of bureaucratic activity expecting our state to, police our opinions for us in deciding who can and can't come into our country. I mean, I think this is a kind of a very technical way of actually having a very serious debate, and much to the detriment of it.
Britain's let in a lot worse people than Donald Trump, not just in terms of things said, but things done. Some real tyrants have been welcomed with open arms into the UK. He's a man giving his opinion. Why even have a conversation about what he said?
You're going to ban an entire population from entering the United States. There is a racial hatred element to that, but that's not, you quite rightly point out that we've been inconsistent with that as a country, and that's a completely fair point to take. And I do believe that sunlight is the best disinfectant, and that Donald Trump's views should be aired and should be debated as we're doing now.
Are you not jumping the gun then?
Jumping the gun?
The man is not elected. He does not represent the American people. And he's going through a process of democratic debate. Why is it that you think that this is in any way immediately applicable to the lives of British people?
Well, it's not immediately applicable, but the fact is that Donald Trump is going through the scrutiny of the incredibly long American electoral process. And that scrutiny, because of America's position in the world, has been opened up to the world. And therefore, it's right that we can voice our opinions on that.